Have you ever asked yourself this question? Why can't I just be happy with what I already have? Maybe you've worked so hard to get to where you are now. You have a stable job, maybe a loving family, maybe a few nice things you once dreamed about. From the outside, people might even envy your life. But when you sit alone at night, scrolling through your phone, or lying in bed staring at the ceiling, there's this emptiness inside you. It feels like no matter what you achieve, no matter what you buy, no matter how far you've come, it's never enough. You tell yourself, when I get this, I'll finally be happy. But when you finally get it, that happiness doesn't last long. A few days, a few weeks maybe, and then the same emptiness creeps back in. And then you start asking the hard questions. Is there something wrong with me? Why can't I just enjoy what I have? Why do I always feel like I need more? There's a psychological concept called the hedonic treadmill. Imagine running on a treadmill. No matter how hard you run, you're not actually going forward. That's how human happiness often works. Let me give you an example. Think about the last time you bought something you really wanted. Maybe a new phone, a new car, or even a new pair of shoes. Do you remember how excited you were when you first got it? That dopamine rush, the feeling of, finally, I have it. For a moment, it felt like happiness. But what happened next? After a few days, that shiny new thing started to feel normal. The excitement faded, and suddenly you found yourself scrolling again, looking for the next thing to want. This is the hedonic treadmill at work. Humans adapt incredibly quickly to new circumstances. That's why a raise at work, a new relationship, or even moving to a bigger house only boosts happiness temporarily. After a while, we return to our baseline, and then crave more. Let's dig deeper into comparison. Imagine a class of students who just got their exam results. Research has shown something fascinating. The student who ranks second often feels worse than the student who ranks third. Why? Because the second-place student is comparing themselves to the first place, thinking, I was so close to being the best, and I failed. Meanwhile, the third-place student is comparing themselves to the fourth or fifth, thinking, at least I made it to the top 3. Do you see what's happening here? It's not the result itself that determines happiness. In real life, it's the same. You could be earning $50,000 a year and feel proud, until you find out your colleague makes $70,000. Suddenly, what once felt like enough now feels like not enough. This is why billionaires still chase more money. You'd think, how could someone with billions not feel satisfied? But when your circle appears, includes people even richer than you, suddenly billions feel small. Another reason we can't be happy with what we have is because we tie happiness too tightly to our goals. Think about how often we say things like, when I get that job, then I'll be happy. When I buy my own house, then I'll be happy. When I find the right partner, then I'll be happy. The problem with this mindset is that happiness is always postponed into the future. It becomes a moving target. Here's a story to illustrate this. There was a man who spent 15 years of his life climbing the corporate ladder. He worked long hours, sacrificed weekends, and told himself, it will all be worth it when I finally become a director. Eventually, he got the title, the office, the big salary, and for a moment, he felt proud. But then reality hit. More responsibilities, more pressure, less time for family. He realized the happiness he was chasing had never arrived. It had always been an illusion. This doesn't mean goals are bad. Goals give life direction and purpose. (6,681). So if happiness doesn't come from achievements, possessions, or constant comparison, where does it come from? Decades of research suggest that true happiness comes from relationships, health, and meaning. One of the most famous studies in the world, the Harvard study of adult development, tracked hundreds of people over 80 years. The conclusion: the single biggest predictor of long-term happiness wasn't money, fame, or success. It was the quality of their relationships, having people you can count on, share life with, and feel connected to. That's what makes life truly fulfilling. Health is another major factor. When your body feels good, your mind feels lighter. Simple habits like sleeping well, moving your body, and eating decently often bring more consistent happiness than any external achievement. And finally, meaning. Humans are wired to seek purpose, doing work that feels valuable, contributing to something bigger than yourselves. So how do we learn to be happy with what we have? It starts with gratitude, not the cliché kind, where you just say, "Thank you," but a deliberate practice of noticing. Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. It could be, "I had a warm cup of coffee this morning. My friend texted me to check in. I laughed at a funny video." Over time, this rewires your brain to notice abundance instead of lack. Second, practice presence. Too often, we rush through life thinking about what's next. Try to pause and fully experience small moments: the taste of food, the sound of rain, the warmth of sunlight. These micro moments are where real happiness hides. Third, redefine success. Instead of measuring yourself by comparison, like money, status, or possessions, measure yourself by growth, kindness, or the effort you put in. Ask, am I better than I was yesterday? Not, am I better than them? At the end of the day, happiness isn't about what you're missing, it's about what you're noticing. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect achievement, or the perfect version of yourself to be happy. You already have enough reasons, right here, right now. Maybe it's the friend who always checks on you. Maybe it's the family member who loves you unconditionally. Maybe it's the fact that you can walk, breathe, and watch the sunset. The truth is, you can be happy with what you have. The only question is, will you choose to see it? So tonight, before you go to bed, pause for a moment. Think of one thing you already have that makes life beautiful. Hold on to it, because happiness isn't in the someday, it's in the today.
Chúng hay ngồi ở đường thanh niên ở đường Thành Thao. Ở bên chắc trạng ngày xưa.